So according to this is the latest numbers that showed what happened yesterday. This is a pretty clear picture of what's happening. Why did Bitcoin go up yesterday? Well, there was only about 192 million Bitcoin flowing outwards from Grayscale. Every day it seems to be diminishing now. So today it could be less than 150, it could be 120, maybe even less than 100 million outflowing from Grayscale. It's fantastic. But look at number 2, BlackRock, iShares Bitcoin Trust. They themselves added 198.4 million. That's in a single day. So everything that outflew from Grayscale, BlackRock ate it up. And what's more amazing is look at Fidelity. Fidelity even ate more up at 208 million. Just those two combined, around $400 million. And then you add in the others, right? That's a lot. That's a lot of Bitcoin being eaten up every single day now. So yesterday we had a net outflow of $255 million. Can't wait to see what it is today. Today we're probably going to see similar. If Grayscale drops by another 50 or 60, 70 million, and BlackRock and Fidelity and others are adding at the same pace, I mean, just do the math. These guys are soaking up so much Bitcoin every single day. It's exciting, but it's also scary. That's why I have this urgent message. Because if you don't have any and you've been waiting to stock up, you've been waiting for another dip, thinking that there's going to be some catastrophic drop and you're just waiting on the sidelines, waiting, you know, you're losing out. There's never been a better chance to buy than now, right before the halving event. And these guys are not going to stop. These guys are not going to stop. And keep in mind, I'm just showing you ETFs here. What about all the other companies that are actually loading up physical, real Bitcoin into their balance sheet, into their treasury? We don't even know. How much more is MicroStrategy plan on buying? How much more is Michael Saylor buying for himself? This is all adding up. Supply shock. The reason why Bitcoin is the scarcest asset on the planet is because it has a set supply. There's nothing else that has a set supply deemed by code that can't be changed. That's why Bitcoin is still worth holding on to, worth accumulating, worth holding, worth DCAing, because we're still so early. We're still so early. Now, if Bitcoin is at like 500,000, then I would say we're probably not still so early, but we're not there yet, okay? We're barely in the 40s, but it's going to go a lot higher from here on out. Halving event is within 75 days. That's only a little bit more than 2 months from here. And I think most of you guys know that the halving event is the most bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. There's nothing more bullish than the halving event. Past 3 cycles, this is the point when Bitcoin started going up, and this is the point this cycle that it'll start going up even more. You could argue that because of ETFs, right, and the supply shock it's causing, this year, we just don't know. We just don't know how bullish it's going to be, right? We can only make speculation about what it can be based on previous cycles like this. But man, who knows? Who knows? It could be even more bullish. This is looking at currently where we are. We're consolidating around this 61.8% Fibonacci level. It happened in previous cycles too. And what happened afterwards is when we started skyrocketing to the moon, right? Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it doesn't, you know? So we'll see what happens this time around. If we're repeating history, we should be getting back to that previous high of 69,000 in no time. Okay, right after halving event. It could be right after or maybe a few months after, depending on how hot the market is. But it's going to happen. We're going to surpass our previous high. There's zero doubt in my mind that that's going to happen. It's just a matter of how fast it's going to happen. Are we going to see that by July of this year? I've said that too. I think it's not unreasonable. The way we're going right now, with the big boys buying hundreds of millions per day, and the halving event coming up, and everything else, I just mentioned about possible Fed rate cut in the US happening as soon as March. Maybe if it's not March, it's pushed into May or June or July. You combine all those things together, there's no reason why we can't be at our previous high of 69,000 by mid this year. Yeah, that's right, mid this year, not even end of this year. And we could end the year at $100,000, guys. Six-figure Bitcoin. We have never, ever seen that before. But I truly believe we have a chance. We're only past the first month of the brand new year. What else is going on? Well, if you're looking at supply, since I've been talking about supply shot, you look at supply of Bitcoin and Ethereum, both dropping like a rock on exchanges. Even though Grayscale contributed a little bit, we saw a little bump because Grayscale started depositing to Coinbase to sell off. But those are temporary because they just deposited and then they sell off. But everyone else is eating it up. Where is BlackRock getting all its Bitcoins? This net flow of 255 million, where are they getting their Bitcoin from? They're all getting them from the same source. They're all getting them from Coinbase, right? So everything that Coinbase had from Grayscale is now flowing back into these guys. And when there's not enough, it just makes me wonder what's really going to happen. At some point, Coinbase just go say, we don't have enough to sell you guys. We need to retain some for the retail investors. They're FOMOing in. We don't have $500 billion worth of Bitcoin to sell you, right? Or 500 million every single day. That's when it's going to get really exciting. That's when we'll really see a supply shock and see things go up in a big way. It's going to happen. People think there's infinite amount of Bitcoin. Coinbase is not the Federal Reserve. Coinbase can't print more Bitcoin. Just because BlackRock and Fidelity are knocking on doors does not mean they could just press a few buttons and somehow mint more Bitcoins to give to them. It just doesn't work that way. They only have so much. What happens when Coinbase runs out and has no more to sell? That's when the price starts skyrocketing. That's when they're going to start charging a huge premium. And Bitcoin could be at 60,000, 70,000, and they're charging 80,000, 90,000 for the Bitcoin because they just don't have enough. We have seen it before in 2021 and previous cycles when Bitcoin on Coinbase were being sold thousands higher than everyone else because they just simply ran out. They just didn't have enough. Something else that's really promising is stablecoins. Stablecoins have been going up in terms of the number and total dollar amount. And why do you think that is? Because the whales are loading up. Okay, just yesterday I covered about $1 billion worth of Tether being minted. There's billions of dollars of Tether being minted, seems like all the time. It's because these big boys are converting their cash to Tether and it's sitting in their wallet and they're waiting to FOMO in, basically. Okay. There's nothing else they're doing with that dollar. They're waiting for the right opportunity to buy. And there's a lot. There's a lot of stable coins out there. Just Tether is at 96 billion. That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. And USDC, even though it's smaller, but still 26 billion. I mean, just those two alone are 120 billion, right? That could be put into the market. Got to grab some, guys, before it's too late.